comedians and crowd alike. Tonight we got a lot more comedians than we have a crowd, which I don't know how I feel about that. I love comedians being in the crowd because like their laughs are more genuine, but I also know that they won't give me the laughs that I want. They won't give me the bullshit laughs or like the cheap jokes I'll tell them between. They're always like, nah, that was kind of low hanging fruit, wasn't that, bud? You want to try a little bit harder? I was supposed to hate New York because I had my way too long just for me to do this. Anyway, anybody in here got parents? Yeah. Anybody in here got parents that love them? That was considerably less. Holy shit. I think my parents love me for the most part. I mean, some days I don't know if they love me and they're just protecting their investment. You know? They put time and effort a little bit. So I might as well hope you get something good out of it at the end of the day. I think that's what my parents do. I think that's what my dad checks on me. My dad, I love my dad. My dad checks in on me. And he always asks me, like, how you doing? I know he's like really being like, what are you doing? The fuck you doing with your life right now? And I know he's asking me that because anytime the answer is not what it should be, I get cussed out for 20 minutes. What the fuck are you doing with your life? I remember one day I called my dad. I was going through some shit in the middle of the night. Like, man, I don't know, fucked up. By the way, I was crossed and I was not in a great mental headspace. Like I was just not great. I mean, now I can identify the fact that I was having a panic attack, but at the time, I thought I was gonna die. You ever been crossed at 2 a.m. having a panic attack? Shit sounds terrible, but let me tell you, it feels 10 times worse than that. I call him, and I'll never get the words he said. He was like, you know what's going on in your life? Do better. If you're feeling sad, don't. I was like, what does that mean? By the way, I put my hand in my pockets. I'm assuming this is how he was on the phone. Like, he was just like, do better. And then his next words are the words that, like, I could take some, like, a life lesson away from, because that was just some bullshit. He said, and if it ever sounds like it's too simple to be true, it's because it is. It doesn't make it easy, that just makes it simple. You don't like what your life is, do better. And I was like, wow. People are such an asshole, this shit be really hitting right now. So of course I had to hang up on him out of frustration. That's just what I had to do. You know what? I will, I guess. Click. But I love my dad. You guys ever see those posts or those memes where it'd be like, you and your dad at 25, who's winning in the fight? Or you and your dad right now, who's winning in the fight? And of course, I'm a confident man. So my first thought is always, hell yeah, my dad is like 5'6". I'm beating the fuck out that little nigga. You might be bumping me, but he ain't quicker than me. Beat that. And then I had to step back and think about where my life is versus where his life was at when he was at my point. Alright, when I first saw it, I had to have been like 18, 19. But let's speed it up to right now, today. Today I'm 24, I'm a business owner, I live with a roommate, and I take care of my life as it comes to me. Right? Never been through anything overly traumatic. I've been in like 2 car accidents, 6 months apart, back to back. Went to work after both of them, right? I've been in fights mostly in my younger years, because that's when I was the most crash out level. My dad, 24, same guy, right? Same age, dad, still 5'6". Height did not change, right? My dad at this point grew up in a house where his father was a part of one of the biggest drug busts in all of Peoria history. Not only that, he grew up on the streets, got kicked out of his house at 17, joined the military, and was in the Bosnian War all the way up until he was 22. I'm not beating that nigga's ass. I'm not. It was like, my heart wanted to be like, yeah, but then in reality, like, I mean, come on. You think that you're gonna be a military trained official? Like, my parents did a great job of making sure I never had to go through the struggles they went through, right? Both of my parents grew up in not the best situations. My mom went from a fight for your life town in Mississippi to Milwaukee as it was going south. My uncle tells me stories about like the shootouts that he's been in and all this shit. But how my mom is still, to this day, one of the toughest women he's ever met. Because she has you on the toughest woman, you know what I mean? I grew up with 3 brothers right outside the suburbs. I'm not, my life ain't bad. I grew up poor, but I never had to, my uncle had to make a birthday cake out of honey buns. I never had to do that shit. Nope, not once. Not once. We didn't even really celebrate birthdays, but it don't really matter when your mom makes brownies every other week. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not calling myself soft, because by no means am I. But am I the hardest nigga in the world? Nah, not really. That's why I love to give a shout out to my parents. You didn't get home. I love to give a shout out to my parents. Because they did their best and they succeeded. Me and all my brothers are living great lives right now. Me and my younger brother compete to see who's going to be the famous brother in our family. My dad was competing with his brother to see who could survive the longest. My dad couldn't grow facial hair, so he beat up any man who talks about it. I can't grow facial hair, and I guarantee you every person in this room is going to joke about it. I'm not beating them, alright? I may beat them in an arm wrestle, maybe in a foot race, you know, stubby legs, you know what I mean? I'm not beating them in a fight. I'm not beating them in a fight, and I realized why. My dad has something to fight for. My dad grew up every day making sure his family had a better life. But he would have had anger and emotion behind his face. I've got jokes and open mic every Thursday behind my These are heavy, but like my 1-2s and my punchlines are normally up here on stage. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's why I don't think I could ever beat my dad. I seriously don't think I could ever beat my grandfather. Okay, my grandfather was a drug dealer, right? But he also was a drug dealer. I can't beat crackhead strength. And I don't know if any of you know what crackhead strength is, but it's like old man strength. Got like boiled in a pot till it was more pure. And put inside a crack pipe and smoke. That's what it is. Some heavy hitting shit. I mean, I'm not beating him for sure. Like, I'm not beating no man who can start a car with the wire hanger. I'm not beating him. I'm not beating no man who can light a cigarette with his bare hands. I can't beat that. All right. And my grandfather on my mom's side, Sally never really got to meet the man, but from what I hear, he was mine and also lived a tough life. So let's not beat nobody's ass. All right. That's the moral of the story. Unless you're my brother or my cousin, in which case, I can't let you say you can be my ass. Like, that's a fight that'll never happen. All my homies know that we can throw hands at any moment, all right? Any given moment. Any given moment. And they just know that. If y'all know, my friends are over there, and I don't know, that's my brother actually. Round of applause for my older brother, Kamante. Not too much that he didn't do shit, he didn't really do anything. He showed up today, and I appreciate him for that. That's about it. He's not getting up unless he's getting off stage. We'll talk about that later. Alright, enough about me and the fact that my dad could probably beat my ass. By the way, my dad was bald for most of his life while I was growing up. And now he has dreads at almost 50. I don't know what that means to you all, but to me, it's fucking. Alright? Here's why. My dad said the reason why he kept his head bald the entire time we were growing up was because he wanted us to cut our hair because he didn't want to take care of it. And what kind of man would tell his kids to cut their hair, and he didn't cut his? Smart man. Smart man, right? Fuck him. I wanted to grow my hair out the whole time. The entire time. Did I ever take care of my hair? No, not once. But I was a kid with dreams, alright? He crushed those. Now he has his hair law and 2 more kids. And I love my sisters. He says they're a lot better than we are. My sister, he does. They love school, they read books. My sisters, my 12-year-old sister is in like 4 different sports, including karate and soccer and track. When I was her age, I never went to go to school, barely read, and I was getting kicked out of class for doing shit I shouldn't. I was a kid talking in the back of the class, we gotta separate you and that one kid. But you don't care, you didn't like that kid in the first place. I'm just gonna talk to who's ever next to me. Alright, now he might be right. Maybe my sister's better than me. Like sad notes in my In my setup, though. Somebody told me how to word, I'll make a joke about it.
Elbows.
Elbows? No. Alright, well, that's my time. That was a shit ass fucking boo him. That was a shit ass suggestion. Elbows? Alright. Shoes. Shoes? I've never really cared about shoes, but I used to have black Air Forces when I was a kid. Before they were a thing, before they were cool, it's like oh, he's a crash out. He's got black hair. I thought me wearing black Air Forces and me being a crash out were just happenstance. But then I think about the reason why I love black Air Forces. And I was talking to somebody like, I never liked Air Forces. They were like bricks. And I was like, that's why I liked them. They were as tough as bricks and black. So whenever they got dirty, it didn't matter. You know, just keep rocking out. And I was like, are you hearing yourself? I had a crash out mentality for 90% of my life. I'm glad I'm performing it. I wouldn't be up here telling jokes. I'd be outside selling drugs. Alright? But thanks to my parents, I didn't have to have. Round of applause for my parents real quick. They raised some upstanding young black men. And unlike the rest of my brothers, I've never been to jail. Fuck that nigga. Anyway, for the last time, that's my time. My name is Caleb, y'all. Alright.